Hi, I'm George Coyle, the founder of Triangulated Research, and this is Secular Trends, a weekly review of secular investment trends as told by a quote unquote triangulated collection of executives and corporate call transcripts. So, this week we're going to be talking about data centers in space, which is a trend that really started to get attention last October, November. So, that'd be October, November of 2025. And like a lot of trends of late, this one mostly came about because Elon Musk started talking about it, and he also started talking about the potential to IPO his company SpaceX. And with the potential for the IPO and related valuation guesses, people started to think that a lot of other space-related companies could wind up being worth a lot more than they were currently trading for. And a bunch of different small cap stocks focused on the space actually went up a bunch. So, at a high level, the basic idea here is pretty simple. Data centers, which we need more and more of because of AI, because of the proliferation of data, processing power, what have you, they're problematic on Earth because they eat a lot of energy. They need to be cooled down, which consumes energy and other things. And they also are not very pretty. They occupy real estate that could go to other things. And so the potential solution is to put these things in space, to get them out in orbit. Because out in orbit, a lot of those problems go away. So, for example, you could wrap them in some kind of solar paneling, which would give them the infinite energy of the sun, or maybe not infinite, but the sun's energy, and can power them without causing energy problems here on Earth. Second, space is very cold, so you don't have to worry about cooling these data centers down out in space. Space is cold enough that it can solve that problem. And finally, if they weren't on Earth, if they were out in space, they're not going to take up real estate on Earth. So this one really was a lot of Twitter X conversations, Musk, people talking about it. There wasn't a ton of commentary from executives, actually. And the reason I'm even reviewing it, that said, is because I think it just got a lot of attention very quickly. So one of the few comments that I did find related to a company called Haivision, and they are a video networking company. And they called data centers in space a huge opportunity and said that there was a lot of money being flowed into space in the future. So that seems to support the idea. However, there was a company called Frequency Electronics, ticker symbol is FEIM. And in one of their transcripts, there was an exchange with a Wall Street analyst, and the analyst basically asked management about the trend. And here is what Frequency said that I thought was pretty interesting. So here goes. I think we have to be a little bit careful because I don't think we're going to be seeing data centers in space in the next couple of years, except for people trying to demonstrate some capabilities. To the extent that those data centers in space become a reality, I think we're definitely anticipating being a participant in that. So I just thought that comment was very interesting because ultimately the company who's close to it is saying this may not even become a real thing. And if it does, it's several years out. So never say never, but it sounds like right now it's more hype than tangible. That said, as I mentioned before, a lot of the stocks went up a ton. But in the recent sort of minor stock market pullback related to Kevin Warsh and other things, a lot of these stocks have just gotten hit pretty hard. So the main stock that people look at is Rocket Labs, RKLB, and it's gone from about $100 a share down to about $67 a share as I'm speaking here. Another one is AST, Space Mobile, ticker ASTS. It's gone from 130 to around 90. Another one is Intuitive Machines, ticker LUNR, which has gone from just north of 23 down to about 15. You've got Planet Labs, ticker symbol PL, that went from 31 to about 20. You've got Redwire Corp RDW, went from 14 down to currently trading around 8.5. And then you've got FEIM, Frequency Electronics, which I mentioned a few minutes ago. And that one's gone from about a little north of 60 to down around 45. So major pullbacks. Now, these stocks went up a ton recently too, but it seems like if things get squirrely in the markets in general, these space stocks are going to experience a more exaggerated impact potentially on the downside. So ultimately, it sounds like a nice concept. It sounds like we're years away from it potentially being a reality. And so my personal take on it, as I view secular trends, is that it's something to keep on the radar, no pun intended, but it's too far away from being tangible to qualify for secular trend purposes as I view them. And so I'll keep it on the radar, and that's about it for now. So anyway, that's it this week. Thank you for tuning in, and be back next week with another trend.